Do you want to take down your first world boss or just find more of them on the map? Well, in today's video, we're going to go over just that to help you out. So if you haven't attempted or even know what to do to take on world bosses in Diablo 4, then we have you covered here. These bosses are giant and they spawn out in the open world, and they can be taken down with a large group of players. They're generally not just meant for your normal party size worth of players, but even more than that. You can kind of think of them like a supercharged open world event. It's a super fun experience that you definitely shouldn't miss out on if you're playing, not only just for the fun of it, but also for the rewards that you get for defeating the world boss. These generally include higher tier gear, so we're going to show you how you can locate them and everything you need to know to get started. Even if you are seasoned in Diablo 4, there are a few weird things happening with the world bosses, so we wanted to give you some tips to ensure that you aren't falling into those traps. So hit that like button down below if we've hooked you up here. It's for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for supporting us, and subscribe for all the other Diablo content we have on the channel and coming your way soon. So the very first thing to know would be the unlock requirements for the world bosses to actually even start appearing on your in-game map. We definitely recommend that you complete the campaign first to make your life even easier when attempting these bosses, and it is recommended that you complete the campaign, but it isn't exactly required, and you can head directly to the world boss spawns to attempt them. If you are able to get in earlier, you'll be happy to hear that world bosses will scale around your level, so you should be able to take it on, but the world boss will still be difficult if you aren't with the right party or group, or have good enough gear to take it on in a fight. So make sure you are appropriately geared and somewhat leveled before attempting them. One of the big things to know is how to identify that a world boss is spawning on your map. In the beta, it was a lot clearer as there was a big notification that alerted you when a world boss was spawning. Currently, players like me aren't getting these notifications, which makes it very hard to know when the world bosses are actually up, and because of this, the best way to find them is to actually just check your map periodically once you've unlocked the spawn locations that they appear in. Coming in the future, there will be timers to make it easier to locate the exact time and location you're looking for without having to go on your in-game map, but for now we have to do it manually. If you want an even easier way to locate them, then you can join the official Diablo 4 Discord, as they have the world boss channels where players usually ping the next world boss, which makes it super easy for you to catch the next one. Currently, there seems to be 3 world bosses that you can take on: Ashava the Pestilent, Avarice the Gold Cursed, and the Wandering Death. Well, Ashava the Pestilent is the first world boss that was in the beta, so a lot of you will already be familiar with that one. It's equipped with a swipe attack that's infused with poison. Additionally, it has the capacity to spread poison over large areas around it, which gradually reduces the health of any players over time while they're standing in them, so you want to stay away from those poison puddles. Avarice the Gold Cursed is a big ogre troll monster that uses electrical attacks and can teleport all over the place. Watch out for its hammer when it uses it, as it's much like Ashava when it does a big swipe to a group of players. We found that standing directly under it was your best bet for survival, and once you take it down, don't forget to destroy the actual hammer it was wielding, because it's a giant chest with extra loot in it. And the last one is the Wandering Death. We haven't fought this one ourselves yet, but we do think it looks like one of the coolest ones out of the 3 after doing some research on it. It looks like you will mostly have to avoid large beams that it sends out and stay out of the wind pools that it spawns. In general though, just be aware that as the health of the world bosses go down, the more frequent and aggressive their attacks will become. Of course, defeating these world bosses though will reward you with a ton of high level gear and a cache. The cache even has chances for rare loot depending on your world tier and level. But the catch is, the caches are only a once a week reward and then you're locked out. But you should be able to get 1 of these caches per boss, up to 3 per week. But we haven't been able to confirm this for ourselves in-game just yet, so let us know if you've got more than 1 per week by taking on each world boss. When a world boss is going to spawn, a tooltip will appear on the map. It doesn't actually tell you which boss is going to spawn, but you can identify which world boss is going to spawn by looking at the spawning animation. Ashava is a poison pool that will appear, while something like Avarice has pulsing lightning all over the place. So to actually know which boss is spawning, you essentially need to wait for the notification to appear on the map, which will tell you the countdown until it appears, but you can travel there and look at the actual animation of it spawning. To make it much easier for you to locate these world bosses, we're going to show you all of the possible world boss arena locations that we've unlocked so far around the map. The interesting thing is, certain world bosses have a higher chance to spawn in certain locations that we're going to show you. Ashava can spawn either in the Fractured Peaks location or the Skosglen location. Avarice can spawn in the Kegistan location. the Dry Steppes location, and the Skosglen location, while the Wandering Death can appear in the Fractured Peaks location, the Dry Steppes location, and the Skosglen location. One additional tip that's really helpful if you're trying to complete your Grim Favors is that you can get lucky and the world boss can be a Whispering Tree objective, which is pretty handy if you get that. Well guys, we thought that you might want to see some gameplay of each of these world bosses for yourself. So we have our own gameplay of fighting Avarice to show you, and a big thank you to Vestmore for his footage of fighting Ashvara and the Wandering Death so we can show it to you guys. So we hope you enjoy seeing fighting the world bosses in action in this gameplay.